Welcome to this recording. I'm about to introduce you to a guided meditation which is, in effect, a prayer, wherein my mind is communicating in oneness with our source, wherever it may be, enveloped by peacefulness, feeling relaxed, pleasant sensations. Throughout this session, breathe deeply and fully, deep into the lower regions of your lungs through your nose, completely filling the lower regions of your lungs with vitalizing oxygen. Sense and see with your mind's eye a transfer of light energy into your bloodstream as the oxygen is transferred from the lungs into it. Feel the light energy flowing through your blood. With each exhalation, rid your body of the carbon dioxide that is no longer needed. Send this out from the depths of your lungs, flowing the air out gently through your mouth. Again, inhale through your nose, draw in the oxygen, light energy for your body all the way down deep into the lowest regions of your lungs, charging the cells of your body with a sensation of being lit with energy, vitalizing your body. Then, exhale out the gases that are no longer needed within, outwards through your mouth between your lips. Keep that rhythm going as you follow along with the words in this session. Breathe in. Do you know why you are here in this world? What do you want to get from this experience? Can you imagine that you are getting it already? Breathe in. Whatever your request, you will be answered simply because the universe provides for extensions of itself. Your request tells it that it needs to help manifest something that, before you voiced your desire, it wasn't aware your world needed. We are one with God and its universe. Allow receptivity to communication from it. Feel now your connection. Imagine you are present before God. Sense this. Why has it sent you here? Breathe in. What service do you provide to the world? What problems can you solve? And which of these should be your valuable contribution to your society? With whom do you spend your days? And how? Always remember, you have great potential and your value can always increase. Self-love is the most powerful love in the world. Breathe in. And so is self-empowerment. This time-space reality that we are fortunate to experience affords us many meaningful moments within which we can meet our true selves. Breathe in. You say, I am, and you begin to become, by way of your mind and its powers, that which you want to be. You are an extension of the energy that creates worlds, with the inherent capacity to focus thought consciously in ways that can have good things happening around you all the time. Be in full control of your emotional responses to life's varying conditions, for, as a whole, life is meant to be good. At least, it has no reason not to be. The following that I am about to say, I am saying it for myself, to myself, but I want you to hear the I, as if it is you saying it to yourself, for yourself. Believe in these words. They are very powerful. Mentally say to yourself, I live for the experience of creation as a co-creator with a variety of unseen universal forces. I live for the experience of co-creating with the partners assigned to me from God above, both physical and non-physical, for the purpose of expanding the content of the universe creatively, with all that is before me, and that which is being introduced into it by me and others like me in this dimension. This is a perfect time to be alive. There is nothing better for me to be doing than experiencing the fullness of where I am now. I allow the universe to show me the path to follow, my personal path. All I have to do is maintain alignment with the vibrational frequency of good feelings, full of joy, and being appreciative of this life. And that is what I'm doing right now.
Breathe out.
I thank you, Heavenly Parent, the source of all creation, for everything that you provide me with. This life that I am fortunate to live, and for your providing me with all I need to experience the true magic of this dimension of life. You see to it that everything eventually works out for me, always. I love the fact that you have my back, allowing me to decide the course of direction I'd like to take, before you put your loving support behind me, helping me along, using your myriad cohorts to guide me. You shower me with blessings every moment of every day. May you will that I enjoy many more days with the family, friends, and the associates who I have as co-creators with me in my experience of this world. It gives me great joy to know that your love is constantly being shown to me every moment of my life. I love that you are channeled through me like an antenna to my surroundings, through this body made by you to house me. As I allow myself to recognize all of this, I ask that you keep my focus on being in clear alignment with who I am meant to be in your eyes. Thank you for filling my life with an abundance of good in so many ways, especially for enabling me to be physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially fit, enough so to handle all the requirements that this world places upon me. I am a responsible being in whatever human roles I play. I ask that my joy here will last a long time in complete wellness with the life partner you have fashioned for me, my soulmate, and that we maintain pure happiness with each other, appreciative of all that we experience. Unfold for us worthwhile purposes and fun adventures, along with the ways and the means to be generous in this world like you are, flowing abundant satisfaction to each of the four corners of the earth and to those in them. I live to spend my days doing good, and I enjoy the abundance that comes my way from many sources. The work I do solves a problem that causes many people to feel relief, happy that they found my service, and, as a result, the abundant wealth I gain is constantly becoming more so, abundant in a healthy manner, leisurely and with ease. What I do isn't difficult, but is a service that is needed by many. I spend my time in comfortable environments with other positive, productive people when I feel like being social. This life you've allowed me to experience is very good. I thank you for having my mind understand that by feeling positive thoughts throughout many varied experiences, I allow a recognition of your goodness to enter, being non-resistant to your messenger's messages, and feel more and more happiness and joy because I realize that you work in favor of me. This is fun. I am now aware that my power, in its purest essence, stems directly from you, and I can always become a better me by allowing you to guide me. What lies ahead for me will be the manifestations I cause as evidence of how I maintain my thoughts. Who I will grow to become is a result of how I respond to life's ups and downs. When I maintain positive alignment with you, I live, acknowledging the magic of your universe. It is exciting and extremely fun to see evidence every day that your universe is working on my behalf. My life gets better and better because I allow it to. I don't resist your messages. Everything I need comes to me in the ways you see fit with the most beneficial timing, so that I find in hindsight that I got the most enjoyment out of them. I am moving in the right direction. I can tell by the way I feel. I feel good. I know that because of you, so much good has come to me already, and that so much more good stuff is on the way. I appreciate what you have given me, and am not concerned with what may be missing because I know that these too will be provided to me when you see fit. Thank you for this opportunity to be one of your leading co-creators, co-creating with angelic beings and spirit guides that you sent to help me lead, to show me ways to expand and create anew in this physical world of time and space. I look forward to increase my taking advantage of this opportunity to represent the part I am meant to play in the beauty and awesomeness of your creation. I follow a powerful path which is mine alone to follow, at least in my own personal way. Regardless of what anyone else has to say, my path is mine alone. Regardless of what anyone else expects of me, I follow my own personal path. Help me focus with clarity on seeing it and following it, with the least amount of resistance to all the divine guidance you send me through your myriad hosts. Show me how to allow you to flow your love through me freely, unbridled and unrestrained, and keep my mind thinking and feeling my life getting better and better. Loving source of my being, I don't ever want to stop thanking you for all the wonderful experiences you provide me with.
Breathe out.
This life I have is amazing. It's an awesome feeling to be able to recognize that you make sure that I have all the basics I need to enjoy life. Somehow, in ways I can only become aware of after hindsight visioning, I see that everything always works out for me. All of the experiences I experience in one way or another guide me to better versions of me. Thank you for the gift of being able to tap into your power as a co-creator and unfold for myself spectacular realities. All I have to do is focus with clarity, just like I'm doing now, with aligning myself, vibrating my being at the frequency you and I meet. In your eyes, envision me, then cause me to see the spirit that I am, housed within this physical body that others see. Able to enjoy this world by viewing and experiencing its challenges positively. Maintaining a state of appreciation and joy, feeling good because I can. As messages and ideas flow to me from the universe with the right timing in the right ways. I like the feeling of knowing that I can dream big and achieve the fulfillment of my dreams. You have already shown me answers to my prayers. This gift of life is tremendous, and your support of me in it is the ultimate part of it. I feel almost incredible joy and happiness when I am in tune with your oneness. All I have to do is soothe my emotional response so that it serves to perpetuate my being happy. Happy for all the exciting opportunities you provide me with for my personal growth. Your blessing to me for many happy days. I love you so much. There are so many gifts that you shower upon me. So many, I have no idea really how many, but just know that they are many. Those that I have become aware of and learned about through hindsight. Yet, it is nonetheless awesome to have only that. Thoughts of hindsight as acknowledgement of your awareness of me. For at least with this, I get to recognize and see that you exist and respond with unconditional love with many gifts. Glimpses of knowledge, the gift of insight, the gift of inner hearing, the gift of heart and mind synergy, the experience of beauty, the excitement of life. So many wonderful things are happening in innumerable ways, right now, right this very moment. Breathe in. And each new moment to follow, you smile at me, and your holy light flows my way. Breathe out. Blessed be your name, and the name of your holy dwelling place. I am lit up inside. It is written in your holy book that the candle of God is the soul of man. I am now glowing brightly. I am an eternal light that righteous people can see. I am a force of life to live with. Without you, extending to me my soul to this body of expression, I would not have any idea that this fun could be. None whatsoever. I am here to enjoy this experience. I praise and thank you, God, for your inestimable love, shown to me by the way you magically unfold my journey. Thanks again for giving each day the chance to delight in this world of delicious experiences. I now understand better that I am supposed to expand on your creation by expressing the special talents you've given to me, using them within the ways permitted to me for my own personal gain, while sanctifying the oneness of your being, to expand upon and within the universe that you started in the way that utilizes efficiently and effectively the talents you've given me. I appreciate your help. I don't dare to think that I am alone, for you are with me always. Thank you. I more than feel life. I am it. As I listen to the music, I celebrate. I celebrate the imagination of your pleasure with me as I listen to the music. Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 You've heard of Earl Nightingale, the American radio speaker and author who dealt with the subjects of human character development, motivation, and meaningful existence. Well, he wrote The Strangest Secret, and by far has been his most famous recording. Recorded in 1957, it went on to sell 1 million records and earn itself a gold record. Take a listen to hear what it has to say.
I'd like to tell you about the strangest secret in the world. Not long ago, Albert Schweitzer, the great doctor and Nobel Prize winner, was being interviewed in London, and a reporter asked him, "Doctor, what's wrong with men today?" The great doctor was silent a moment, and then he said, "Men simply don't think. And it's about this that I want to talk with you. We live today in a golden age. This is an era that man has looked forward, dreamed of, and worked toward for thousands of years. But since it's here, we pretty well take it for granted. We in America are particularly fortunate to live in the richest land that ever existed on the face of the earth, a land of abundant opportunity for everyone. But do you know what happens? Let's take 100 men who start even at the age of 25. Do you have any idea what will happen to those men by the time they're 65? These 100 men who all start even at the age of 25 believe they're going to be successful. If you asked any one of these men if he wanted to be a success, he'd tell you that he did. And you'd notice that he was eager toward life, that there was a certain sparkle to his eye, an erectness to his carriage, and life seemed like a pretty interesting adventure to him. But by the time they're 65, 1 will be rich, 4 will be financially independent, 5 will still be working, 54 will be broke. Now think a moment. Out of the 100, only 5 make the grade. Why do so many fail? What has happened to the sparkle that was there when they were 25? What's become of the dreams, the hopes, the plans? And why is there such a large disparity between what these men intended to do and what they actually accomplished? When we say about 5% achieve success, we have to define success. And here's the definition. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. If a man is working toward a predetermined goal and knows where he's going, that man is a success. If he's not doing that, he's a failure. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Rollo May, the distinguished psychiatrist, wrote a wonderful book called Man's Search for Himself. And in this book he says, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it is conformity. And there you have the trouble today. It's conformity. People acting like everyone else, without knowing why, without knowing where they're going. Now think of it. In America right now, there are over 14 million people 65 years of age and over. And about 13 million of these 14 million are broke. They're dependent on someone else for life's necessities. Now we learn to read by the time we're 7. We learn to make a living by the time we're 25. Usually by that time we're not only making a living, we're supporting a family. And yet by the time we're 65, we haven't learned how to become financially independent in the richest land that has ever been known. Why? We conform. And the trouble is that we're acting like the wrong percentage group, the 95% who don't succeed. Now why do these people conform? Well, they don't know really. These people believe that their lives are shaped by circumstances, by things that happen to them, by exterior forces. They're outer-directed people. A survey was made one time that covered a lot of men, working men, and these men were asked this question: why do you work? Why do you get up in the morning? 19 out of 20 had no idea. If you ask them, they'll say, everyone goes to work in the morning. And that's the reason they do it, because everyone else is doing it. Now let's get back to our definition of success. Who succeeds? The only man who succeeds is the man who is progressively realizing a worthy ideal. He's the man who says, I'm going to become this, and then begins to work toward that goal. I'll tell you who the successful people are. A success is the school teacher who's teaching school because that's what she wanted to do. The success is the woman who's a wife and mother because she wanted to become a wife and mother and is doing a good job of it. The success is the man who runs the corner gas station because that's what he wanted to do. The success is the successful salesman who wants to become a top-notch salesman and grow and build with his organization. A success is anyone who is doing deliberately a predetermined job because that's what he decided to do deliberately. But only 1 out of 20 does that. That's why today there isn't really any competition unless we make it for ourselves. Instead of competing, all we have to do is create. Now for 20 years I looked for the key which would determine what would happen to a human being. Was there a key I wanted to know which would make the future a promise that we could foretell to a large extent? Was there a key that would guarantee a person's becoming successful if he only knew about it and knew how to use it? Well, there is such a key, and I've found it. Have you ever wondered why so many men work so hard and honestly without ever achieving anything in particular, and others don't seem to work hard and yet seem to get everything? They have the magic touch. You've heard them say that about someone. Everything he touches turns to gold. And have you ever noticed that a man who becomes successful tends to continue to become successful? And on the other hand, have you noticed how a man who is a failure tends to continue to fail? It's because of goals. Some of us have them, some don't. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. Now think of a ship leaving a harbor, and think of it with the complete voyage mapped out and planned. The captain and crew know exactly where it's going and how long it will take. It has a definite goal. 9,999 times out of 10,000 it will get to where it started out to get. Now let's take another ship, just like the first, only let's not put a crew on it, or a captain at the helm. Let's give it no aiming point, no goal, no destination. We just start the engines and let it go. I think you'll agree with me that if it gets out of the harbor at all, it will either sink or wind up on some deserted beach a derelict. It can't go anyplace because it has no destination and no guidance. It's the same with a human being. Take the salesman, for example. There is no other person in the world today with the future of a good salesman. Selling is the world's highest paid profession, if we're good at it and if we know where we're going. Every company needs top-notch salesmen, and they reward those men. The sky is the limit for them. But how many can you find? Someone once said, the human race is fixed, not to prevent the strong from winning, but to prevent the weak from losing. The American economy today can be likened to a convoy in time of war. The entire economy is slowed down to protect its weakest link, just as the convoy had to go at the speed that would permit its slowest vessel to remain in formation. That's why it's so easy to make a living today. It takes no particular brains or talent to make a living and support a family today, so we have a plateau of so-called security, if that's what a person's looking for. But we do have to decide how high above this plateau we want to aim for. Now let's get back to the strangest secret in the world, the story that I wanted to tell you today. Why do men with goals succeed in life, and men without them fail? Well, let me tell you something which, if you really understand it, will alter your life immediately. If you understand completely what I'm going to tell you from this moment on, your life will never be the same again. You'll suddenly find that good luck just seems to be attracted to you. The things you want just seem to fall in line. And from now on, you won't have the problems, the worries, the gnawing lump of anxiety that perhaps you've experienced before. Doubt, fear, well, they'll be things of the past. Here's the key to success, and the key to failure. We become what we think about. Now let me say that again. We become what we think about. Throughout all history, the great wise men and teachers, philosophers and prophets have disagreed with one another on many different things. It is only on this one point that they are in complete and unanimous agreement. Listen to what Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, said. He said, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." Disraeli said this, "Everything comes if a man will only wait. I have brought myself by long meditation to the conviction that a human being with a settled purpose must accomplish it, and that nothing can resist a will that will stake even existence for its fulfillment." Ralph Waldo Emerson said this, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." William James said, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind." And he also said, "We need only in cold blood act as if the thing in question were real, and it will become infallibly real by growing into such a connection with our life that it will become real. It will become so knit with habit and emotion that our interest in it will be those which characterize belief." He also said this, "If you only care enough for a result, you will almost certainly attain it. If you wish to be rich, you will be rich. If you wish to be learned, you will be learned. If you wish to be good, you will be good. Only you must then really wish these things, and wish them exclusively, and not wish at the same time 100 other incompatible things just as strongly." In the Bible you read in Mark 9:23, "If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth." Dr. Norman Vincent Peale said this, "This is one of the greatest laws in the universe. Fervently do I wish I had discovered it as a very young man. It dawned upon me much later in life, and I found it to be one of the greatest, if not my greatest discovery outside of my relationship to God. And the great law, briefly and simply stated, is that if you think in negative terms, you'll get negative results. If you think in positive terms, you will achieve positive results. That is the simple fact, which is at the basis of an astonishing law of prosperity and success. In 3 words, believe and succeed. William Shakespeare put it this way: our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. George Bernard Shaw said, people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. Well, it's pretty apparent, isn't it? And every person who discovered this for a while believed that he was the first one to work it out. We become what we think about. Now, it stands to reason that a person who's thinking about a concrete and worthwhile goal is going to reach it, because that's what he's thinking about. And we become what we think about. Conversely, the man who has no goal, who doesn't know where he's going, and whose thoughts must therefore be thoughts of confusion and anxiety and fear and worry, becomes what he thinks about. His life becomes one of frustration, fear, anxiety, and worry. And if he thinks about nothing, he becomes nothing. Now, how does it work? Why do we become what we think about? Well, I'll tell you how it works as far as we know. Now, to do this, I want to tell you about a situation that parallels the human mind. Suppose a farmer has some land, and it's good, fertile land. Now, the land gives the farmer a choice. He may plant in that land whatever he chooses. The land doesn't care. It's up to the farmer to make the decision. Now, remember, we're comparing the human mind with the land, because the mind, like the land, doesn't care what you plant in it. It will return what you plant, but it doesn't care what you plant. Now, let's say that the farmer has two seeds in his hand. One is a seed of corn, the other is nightshade, a deadly poison. He digs two little holes in the earth and he plants both seeds, one corn, the other nightshade. He covers up the holes, waters, and takes care of the land, and what will happen? Invariably, the land will return what is planted. As it's written in the Bible, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. Remember, the land doesn't care. It will return poison in just as wonderful abundance as it will corn. So up come the two plants, one corn, one poison. Now, the human mind is far more fertile, far more incredible and mysterious than the land, but it works the same way. It doesn't care what we plant. Success, failure. A concrete worthwhile goal, or confusion, misunderstanding, fear, anxiety, and so on. But what we plant, it will return to us. You see, the human mind is the last great unexplored continent on the earth. It contains riches beyond our wildest dreams. It will return anything we want to plant. Now you might say, well, if that's true, why don't people use their minds more? Well, I think they've figured out an answer to that too. Our mind comes as standard equipment at birth. It's free. And things that are given to us for nothing, we place little value on. Things that we pay money for, we value. The paradox is that exactly the reverse is true. Everything that's really worthwhile in life came to us free. Our mind, our soul, our body, our hopes, our dreams, our ambitions, our intelligence, our love of family and children and friends. All these priceless possessions are free, but the things that cost us money are actually very cheap and can be replaced at any time. A good man can be completely wiped out and make another fortune. He can do that several times. Even if our home burns down, we can rebuild it. But the things we got for nothing, we can never replace. The human mind isn't used merely because we take it for granted. Familiarity breeds contempt. It can do any kind of job we assign to it, but generally speaking, we use it for little jobs instead of big important ones. Universities have proved that most of us are operating on about 10% of our abilities. Decide now. What is it you want? Plant your goal in your mind. It's the most important decision you ever make in your entire life. Do you want to be an outstanding salesman, a better worker at your particular job? Do you want to go places in your company, in your community? All you've got to do is plant that seed in your mind. Care for it. Work steadily toward your goal, and it will become a reality. It not only will, there's no way that it cannot. You see, that is a law, like the laws of Sir Isaac Newton, the laws of gravity. If you get on top of a building and jump off, you'll always go down. You'll never go up. And it's the same with all the other laws of nature. They always work. They're inflexible. Think about your goal in a relaxed, positive way. Picture yourself in your mind's eye as having already achieved this goal. See yourself doing the things you will be doing when you've reached your goal. Ours has been called the phenobarbital age, the age of ulcers and nervous breakdown. At a time when medical research has raised us to a new plateau of good health and longevity, far too many of us worry ourselves into an early grave trying to cope with things in our own little personal ways, without learning a few great laws that will take care of everything for us. These things we bring on ourselves through our habitual way of thinking. Every one of us is the sum total of his own thoughts. He is where he is because that is exactly where he really wants to be, whether he'll admit that or not. Each of us must live off the fruit of his thoughts in the future, because what you think today and tomorrow, next month and next year, will mold your life and determine your future. You're guided by your mind. I remember one time I was driving through Arizona and I saw one of those giant earth-moving machines roaring along the road at about 35 miles an hour with what looked like 20 tons of dirt in it, a tremendous, incredible machine. And there was a little man perched way up on top with the wheel in his hands guiding it. And as I drove along, I was struck by the similarity of that machine to the human mind. Just suppose you're sitting at the controls of such a vast source of energy. Are you going to sit back and fold your arms and let it run itself into a ditch? Or are you going to keep both hands firmly on the wheel and control and direct this power to a specific, worthwhile purpose? It's up to you. You're in the driver's seat. You see, the very law that gives us success is a two-edged sword. We must control our thinking. The same rule that can lead a man to a life of success, wealth, happiness, and all the things he's ever dreamed of for himself and his family, that very same law can lead him into the gutter. It's all in how he uses it, for good or for bad. This is the strangest secret in the world. Now, why do I say it's strange, and why do I call it a secret? Actually, it isn't a secret at all. It was first promulgated by some of the earliest wise men, and it appears again and again throughout the Bible. But very few people have learned it, understand it. That's why it's strange, and why, for some equally strange reason, it virtually remains a secret. I believe that you could go out and walk down the main street of your town and ask one man after another what the secret of success is, and you probably wouldn't run into one man in a month who could tell you. Now, this information is enormously valuable to us if we really understand it and apply it. It's valuable to us not only for our own lives, but the lives of those around us, our family, employees, associates, and friends. Life should be an exciting adventure. It should never be a bore. A man should live fully, be alive. He should be glad to get out of bed in the morning. He should be doing a job he likes to do because he does it well. One time I heard Grove Patterson make a speech, the editor-in-chief of the Toledo Daily Blade. And as he concluded his speech, he said something that I've never forgotten. He said something like this: "My years in the newspaper business have convinced me of several things, among them that people are basically good, and that we came from someplace, and we're going someplace. So we should make our time here an exciting adventure. The architect of the universe didn't build a stairway leading nowhere. And the greatest teacher of all, the carpenter from the plains of Galilee, gave us the secret time and time again. As ye believe, so shall it be done unto you." I've explained the strangest secret in the world and how it works. Now I want to explain how you can prove to yourself the enormous returns possible in your own life by putting this secret to a practical test. I want you to make a test that will last 30 days. Now, it isn't going to be easy. If you'll give it a good try, it will completely change your life for the better. Back in the 17th century, Sir Isaac Newton, the English mathematician and natural philosopher, gave us some natural laws of physics which apply as much to human beings as they do to the movement of bodies in the universe. Now, one of these laws is that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Simply stated, as it applies to you and me, it means we can achieve nothing without paying the price. The results of your 30-day experiment will be in direct proportion to the effort you put forth. To be a doctor, you must pay the price of long years of difficult study. To be successful in selling, and remember that each of us succeeds to the extent of his ability to sell. Selling our families on our ideas, selling education in schools, selling our children on the advantages of living a good and honest life, selling our associates and employees on the importance of being exceptional people, to, of course, the profession of selling itself. But to be successful in selling our way to the good life, we must be willing to pay the price. Now, what is that price? Well, it's many things. First, it's understanding emotionally, as well as intellectually, that we literally become what we think about, that we must control our thoughts if we're to control our lives. It's understanding fully that, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. Secondly, it's cutting away all the fetters from the mind and permitting it to soar as it was divinely designed to do. It's the realization that your limitations are self-imposed, and that the opportunities for you today are enormous beyond belief. It's rising above narrow-minded pettiness and prejudice. Thirdly, to use all your courage to force yourself to think positively on your own problem, to set a definite and clearly defined goal for yourself, to let your marvelous mind think about your goal from all possible angles, to let your imagination speculate freely upon many different possible solutions, to refuse to believe there are any circumstances sufficiently strong to defeat you in the accomplishment of your purpose, to act promptly and decisively when your course is clear, and to keep constantly aware of the fact that you are, at this moment, standing in the middle of your own acre of diamonds, as Russell Conwell used to point out. Fourth, save at least 10% of what you earn. It's also remembering that no matter what your present job, it has enormous possibilities if you're willing to pay the price. Now let's just go over the important points in the price each of us must pay to achieve the wonderful life that can be ours. It is, of course, worth any price. 1, you will become what you think about. 2, remember the word imagination. Let your mind soar. 3, courage. Concentrate on your goal every day. 4, save 10% of what you earn. And action. Ideas are worthless unless we act on them. Now I'll try to outline the 30-day test I want you to make. Now keep in mind that you have nothing to lose by making this test, and everything you could possibly want to gain. There are 2 things that may be said of everyone. Each of us wants something, and each of us is afraid of something. I want you to write on a card what it is you want more than anything else. It may be more money. Perhaps you'd like to double your income or make a specific amount of money. It may be a beautiful home. It may be success at your job. It may be a particular position in life. It could be a more harmonious family. Each of us wants something. Write down on your card specifically what it is that you want. Make sure it's a single goal and clearly defined. You needn't show it to anyone, but carry it with you so that you can look at it several times a day. Think about it in a cheerful, relaxed, positive way each morning when you get up, and immediately you have something to work for, something to get out of bed for, something to live for. Look at it every chance you get during the day and just before going to bed at night. As you look at it, remember that you must become what you think about, and since you're thinking about your goal, you realize that soon it will be yours. In fact, it's yours really the moment you write it down and begin to think about it. Look at the abundance all around you as you go about your daily business. You have as much right to this abundance as any other living creature. It's yours for the asking. Now we come to the difficult part. Difficult because it means the formation of what is probably a brand new habit. And new habits are not easily formed. Once formed, however, it will follow you for the rest of your life. Stop thinking about what it is you fear. Each time a fearful or negative thought comes into your consciousness, replace it with a mental picture of your positive and worthwhile goal. There will come times when you will feel like giving up. It's easier for a human being to think negatively than positively. That's why only 5% is successful. You must begin now to place yourself in that group. For 30 days, you must take control of your mind. It will think only about what you permit it to think. Each day for this 30-day test, do more than you have to do. In addition to maintaining a cheerful, positive outlook, give of yourself more than you've ever done before. Do this knowing that your returns in life must be in direct proportion to what you give. The moment you decide on a goal to work toward, you're immediately a successful person. You're then in that rare and successful category of people who know where they're going. Out of every 100 people, you belong to the top 5. Don't concern yourself too much with how you're going to achieve your goal. Leave that completely to a power greater than yourself. All you have to do is know where you're going. The answers will come to you of their own accord. Remember these words from the Sermon on the Mount, and remember them well. Keep them constantly before you this month of your test. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For every one that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. It's as marvelous and as simple as that. In fact, it's so simple that in our seemingly complicated world it's difficult for an adult to understand that all he needs is a purpose and faith. For 30 days, do your best. If you're a salesman, go at it as you've never done before, not in hectic fashion, but with the calm, cheerful assurance that time well spent will give you the abundance in return you deserve and want. No matter what your job, do it as you've never done it before for 30 days. And if you've kept your goal before you every day, you'll wonder and marvel at this new life you've found. Dorothea Brand, outstanding editor and writer, discovered it for herself and tells about it in her fine book, Wake Up and Live. Her entire philosophy is reduced to the words, act as though it were impossible to fail. She made her own test with sincerity and faith, and her entire life was changed to one of overwhelming success. Now you make your test for 30 full days. Don't start your test until you've made up your mind to stick with it. You see, by being persistent, you're demonstrating faith. Persistence is simply another word for faith. If you didn't have faith, you would never persist. If you should fail during your first 30 days, by that I mean suddenly find yourself overwhelmed by negative thoughts, you've got to start over again from that point and go 30 more days. Gradually your new habit will form until you find yourself one of that wonderful minority to whom virtually nothing is impossible. Don't forget the card. It's vitally important as you begin this new way of living. On one side of the card, write your goal, whatever it may be. On the other side, write the words we've quoted from the Sermon on the Mount. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Nothing great was ever accomplished without inspiration. See that during these crucial first 30 days, your own inspiration is kept at a peak. Above all, don't worry. Worry brings fear, and fear is crippling. The only thing that can cause you to worry during your test is trying to do it all yourself. Know that all you have to do is hold your goal before you. Everything else will take care of itself. Remember also to keep calm and cheerful. Don't let petty things annoy you, get you off course. Now, since making this test is difficult, some may say, well, why should I bother? Well, look at the alternative. No one wants to be a failure. No one really wants to be a mediocre individual. No one wants a life constantly filled with worry, fear, and frustration. Therefore, remember that you must reap that which you sow. If you sow negative thoughts, your life will be filled with negative things. If you sow positive thoughts, your life will be cheerful, successful, and positive. Now, gradually, you will have a tendency to forget what you've heard on this record. Play it often. Keep reminding yourself of what you must do to form this new habit. Gather your whole family about and listen to what's been said here at regular intervals. You know, most men will tell you that they want to make money without understanding the law. The only people who make money work in the mint. The rest of us must earn money. This is what causes those who keep looking for something for nothing or a free ride to fail in life. The only way to earn money is by providing people with services or products which are needed and useful. We exchange our product or service for the other man's money. Therefore, the law is that our financial return will be in direct proportion to our service. Success is not the result of making money. Making money is the result of success. And success is in direct proportion to our service. Most people have this law backwards. They believe that you're successful if you earn a lot of money. The truth is that you can only earn money after you're successful. It's like the story of the man who sat in front of the stove and said to it, "Give me heat, and then I'll add the wood." How many men and women do you know, or do you suppose there are today, who take the same attitude toward life? There are millions. We've got to put the fuel in before we can expect heat. Likewise, we've got to be of service first before we can expect money. Don't concern yourself with the money. Be of service. Build, work, dream, create. Do this, and you'll find there's no limit to the prosperity and abundance that will come to you. Prosperity is founded upon a law of mutual exchange. Any person who contributes to prosperity must prosper in turn himself. Sometimes the return will not come from those you serve, but it must come to you from someplace, for that is the law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. As you go daily through your 30-day test period, remember that your success will always be measured by the quality and quantity of service you render, and money is a yardstick for measuring this service. No man can get rich himself unless he enriches others. There are no exceptions to a law. You can drive down any street in America and from your car estimate the service that's being rendered by the people living on that street. Had you ever thought of this yardstick before? It's interesting. Some, like ministers and priests and other devoted people, measure their returns in the realm of the spiritual, but again, their returns are equal to their service. Once this law is fully understood, any thinking person can tell his own fortune. If he wants more, he must be of more service to those from whom he receives his return. If he wants less, he has only to reduce this service. This is the price you must pay for what you want. If you believe you can enrich yourself by deluding others, you can only end by deluding yourself. It may take some time, but just as surely as you breathe, you'll get back what you put out. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking you can avert this. It's impossible. The prisons and the streets where the lonely walk are filled with people who tried to make new laws just for themselves. We may avoid the laws of man, but there are greater laws that cannot be broken. An outstanding medical doctor recently pointed out 6 steps that will help you realize success. 1. Set yourself a definite goal. 2. Quit running yourself down. 3. Stop thinking of all the reasons why you cannot be successful, and instead think of all the reasons why you can. 4. Trace your attitudes back through your childhood and try to discover where you first got the idea you couldn't be a success, if that's the way you've been thinking. 5. Change the image you have of yourself by writing out a description of the person you would like to be. And 6. Act the part of the successful person you have decided to become. The doctor who wrote those words is a noted West Coast psychiatrist, David Harold Fink, M.D. Do what all experts since the dawn of recorded history have told you you must do. Pay the price by becoming the person you want to become. It's not nearly as difficult as living unsuccessfully. Make your 30-day test. Then repeat it. Then repeat it again. Each time it will become more a part of you until you'll wonder how you could ever have lived any other way. Live this new way, and the floodgates of abundance will open and pour over you more riches than you may have dreamed existed. Money? Yes, lots of it. But what's more important, you'll have peace. You'll be in that wonderful minority who lead calm, cheerful, successful lives. Start today. You have nothing to lose, but you have a life to win.
We are one with God. and its universe. Allow receptivity to communication from it. Feel now your connection. Imagine you are present before God. Sense this. Why has it sent you here? What service do you provide to the world? What problems can you solve? Which of these should be your valuable contribution to your society? With whom do you spend your days? And how? Always remember, you have great potential and your value can always increase. Self-love is the most powerful love in the world, and so is self-empowerment. This time-space reality that we are fortunate to experience affords us many meaningful moments within which we meet our true selves. You say, I am, and you begin to become, by way of your mind's powers, that which you want to become. You are an extension of the energy that creates worlds, with the inherent capacity to focus your thoughts consciously in ways that can have good things happening around you all the time. Be in full control of your emotional responses to life's varying conditions, for as a whole, life is meant to be good. At least, it has no valid reason not to be. You live for the experience of creation as a co-creator with a variety of unseen universal forces. You live for the experience of co-creating with the partners assigned to you from God above, both physical and non-physical, for the purpose of expanding the content of the universe creatively. With all that has existed before you, and with that which is being introduced into it by you and others like you in this dimension. This is a perfect time to be alive. There is nothing better for you to be doing than to experience the fullness of where you are now. Allow the universe to show you the path to follow, your personal path. All you have to do is maintain alignment with the vibrational frequency of good feelings, full of joy, and being appreciative of this life you are given. And this is what you are doing right now. Thank the source of all creation for everything that it provides you with to experience the true magic of this dimension of life. Everything eventually works out for you, always. Source has your back, allowing you to decide on the course of direction you'd like to take before it puts its loving support behind your decision, helping you along, using its myriad cohorts to guide you. You are showered with blessings every moment of every day. May God will that you enjoy many more days with the family, friends, and the associates you have as co-creators with you in your experience of this world. There is great joy in knowing that God's love is constantly being shown to you every moment of your life. As you allow yourself to recognize this, keep your focus on being in clear alignment with who you are meant to be in God's eyes. Be a responsible being in whatever human roles you play. Spend your days doing good and enjoy the abundance that comes your way in many different ways. Solve a problem that provides many people relief, and they'll be happy that they found your service. And as a result, the abundant wealth you will gain will constantly become more so, abundant in a healthy manner, leisurely, and with ease. Provide a service that is needed by many. Spend your time in comfortable environments with positive, productive people when you feel like being social. This life you are being allowed to experience is very good. Understand that by feeling positive thoughts throughout life's many varied experiences, you will allow goodness to enter your life. Be non-resistant to the messages coming to you by God's messengers in this universe. universe works in favor of you. Have fun. Be aware that your power, in its purest essence, stems directly from Source, the creator of heaven and earth. And know that you can always become a better version of you by allowing Source to guide you. What lies ahead for you will be the manifestations you cause, being the evidence of how you've maintained your thoughts. Who you will grow to become is a result of how you respond to life's ups and downs. When you maintain positive alignments with God, you live well, acknowledging the magic of God's universe. It is exciting and extremely fun to see evidence every day that the universe is working on your behalf. Your life will get better and better because you allow it to. Don't resist God's messages. Everything you need will come to you in the ways Source sees fit with the most beneficial timing, so that in hindsight, you will see that you got the most enjoyment out of them. You will know if you are moving in the right direction. You can tell by the way you feel. Feel good, knowing that because of our Source, so much good has come to you already, and that so much more good stuff is on the way. Appreciate what God has given you, and don't be concerned with what you may be missing, because these will be provided to you if necessary when God sees it fit. You have this opportunity to be one of God's leading co-creators, co-creating with angelic beings and spirit guides that are sent to help you lead, to show you ways to expand and create anew in this physical world of time and space. Take full advantage of this opportunity to represent the part you are meant to play in the beauty and awesomeness of God's creation. Follow your powerful path, presented for you to follow. Regardless of what anyone else has to say, your path is yours alone. Regardless of what anyone else expects of you, follow your sacred path. With the least amount of resistance to the divine guidance sent to you through Source's myriad hosts. Allow Source to flow its love through you freely, unbridled and unrestrained, and keep your mind thinking and feeling your life getting better and better. Don't ever stop thanking God for all the wonderful experiences it provides you with. This life you have is amazing. It's an awesome feeling to be able to recognize that Source makes sure that you have all the basics you need to enjoy life. Somehow, in ways you can only become aware of with hindsight visioning, you will see that everything always works out for you. All of the experiences you experience in one way or another guide you to better versions of yourself. Tap into this power as a co-creator and unfold for yourself spectacular new realities. All you have to do is focus with clarity, just like you are doing right now, with aligning yourself, vibrating at the frequency you and Source meet. Maintain a state of appreciation and joy. Feel good because you can when you want to. Messages and ideas flow to you from the universe with the right timing in the right ways. Allow their entry into your mind. There is a wonderful feeling knowing that you can dream big and achieve the fulfillment of your dreams. This gift of life is tremendous. And God's support of you in it is the ultimate part. You will feel almost incredible joy and happiness when you tune in with the oneness of God in its universe. All you have to do is soothe your emotional response so that it serves to perpetuate your being happy. Happy for all the exciting opportunities that you are being provided with for your personal growth. God's blessing to you for many happy days.
Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 Breathe in. If you like this material, please show your support by clicking the icon. And I'd appreciate it if you share this video. Of course, do subscribe and be among the first to receive the newest material to be offered by this channel. All the best to you and yours. Until next time, and beyond, be well.